What's up, everybody? Hey, it's me and Mara here to answer fitness questions. All right, so I took a couple of questions earlier, like normal, to start off with. And if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask in the comments while I'm doing this, go ahead and do that, and I will answer those. But I'm going to start off with these. So let's see here. Eric said, give some of your opinions on supplements today, like other than protein shakes. And then he elaborated and said all kinds of hype and marketing that goes with that industry to the point you really don't know what actually is the best bang for your buck. For instance, pre and post workout supplements, creatine, fat burners, etc. Okay, so I did link in one of my groups, so I'll try to remember to link it below. But I've done a whole podcast where I interviewed a guy who's done a ton of supplement reviews and stuff like that, and he and I go back and forth on that. So that's probably where I've dug into the subject the most. But what I would say overall, what I'd say overall though is the best way I'd say to answer the supplements, he said other than protein, so I won't really touch on that. That's the number one supplement, really, literally for no other reason than it just helps you hit your protein numbers. There's nothing special or magical about whey protein. It's just a good one to help you hit your protein, which is something a lot of people have trouble with. So other than protein, let me start off by saying you don't need supplements at all. If you are working out, and you're doing your strength training or whatever your goals are, but strength training should really be part of it regardless. But if you're doing your workouts and if you're doing, hey, you can play, but don't be loud. I want to be able to hear. If you're doing if you can, sorry, throw me off. If you are somebody who is trying to reach any kind of whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to gain muscle, whatever, strength training is a good thing. And then when you are doing that, you need protein. So that's something that'll be really helpful is the whey protein. But outside of that, you can totally do this even without the whey protein, just by doing a proper workout plan that you're progressing on and by eating well, as long as you're getting the protein numbers. And that's why whey protein is kind of the number one supplement people use and that I would recommend, but just because so many people struggle with hitting that. Outside of the whey protein, though, I'll tell you kind of what I use. I use a multivitamin just to kind of help me to supplement and fill any holes in my diet. Life's busy. Sometimes, we don't get enough veggies. We don't get enough of certain types of foods that contain certain vitamins and minerals, and multivitamins can help with that. It's good to take them with food because some of them are water soluble, which just means they dissolve if you're drinking something with them. But some of them are fat soluble, which means you need to be consuming some type of fat with it in order for it to be able to dissolve or be absorbed rather by your body. So multivitamin is good. If you are I'm a big fan of caffeine. I think pretty much, the majority of the population in the U.S. at least, probably uses caffeine to some extent. I only know a few people that don't drink coffee or use any kind of caffeine, but I like to use caffeine either in the form of coffee or a caffeine pill or whatever, because before my workouts, not because I don't use pre-workout, not because they're bad or anything, just because to me it's unnecessary money. There are some ingredients in pre-workouts, things like beta-alanine, things like citrulline that have been scientifically studied and have shown some results and some benefits. But to me, caffeine is the biggest thing that you're going to feel, and it's going to affect your workouts directly the most. So I just buy a $6 little bottle of caffeine pills that I'll take sometimes if I'm about to work out, so that I can just, so I don't have to wait till the coffee kind of digests and stuff like that, and I don't feel nauseated. So anyway, I'll do the caffeine pills. That's a good one for me. And then creatine, that's a good one if you're really trying to build muscle. It has been no supplement, probably even protein, the whey protein has been studied as much as creatine. There's just so many studies out there on it. So it's a good one that you can, if you have the money for it and just want to throw everything you can at it, then go for it. But what I would say overall, if you're somebody who has a limited budget or you just don't want to spend a lot of money on it, you're trying to be frugal and trying to be wise with your money and stuff, you can go completely supplement free and achieve your fitness goals. proper training and nutrition is going to give you like 95 to 98% of the results. Protein can fit somewhere in there. I'll give protein like that. It can bump it up 2%, the whey protein, but or maybe even more than that, just because some people struggle to get the protein, like I said, and it is a big part of this. But outside of that, any of the other stuff is just a small percentage of your results. So don't feel like that hype marketing that Eric's talking about, and you see so much of the stuff, and it almost convinces you that you need this stuff, and you're just leaving so much on the table if you don't have it. It's just not true, okay? It's just not true. So don't get suckered by the supplement companies and the fancy like models and stuff like that on there. All right, let's see. Next question. If anybody has any questions, what's up, everybody? If anybody has any questions, just drop them and I'll answer. Sorry, my girls are screaming in the background here. All right. Jody, thoughts on the healthiest and best products such as this? Then he posts a picture of a fat burner that I am not familiar with. Let's see here. What brand is this? Power Blends fat burner. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this brand, but he said thoughts on the healthiest and best products such as this. So what I'll say, I'm not going to speak to that fat burner there in particular because I've never used it or even heard of it actually. But similarly to what I said before, not necessary. If you are trying to like lose body fat, fat burners, they can help a little if you get a good one. The only, and I've said this to people before, the only fat burner that I would suggest that I would like actually recommend is one called Phoenix from a company called Legion Athletics. I'm a big fan of that company. I've followed that guy. The guy's name is Mike Matthews. I've followed his work. I've read his books. I've followed his stuff since way before he started a supplement company. And I've come to trust him and the things he says about fitness. I've listened to his podcast forever. I've just kept up with like his journey and his business and everything. And when he started a supplement company, I knew it would be solid, and I wasn't wrong. Like it's so like if you go to the legionathletics.com page, it has a scientific reasons for every single supplement on there, and it doesn't give any of that hype marketing. It tells you like this is exactly what this is going to do, what it won't do. Here are the ingredients. Here's how much of it is in there. Because what you find a lot of times with supplements is they will trick you. Like there might be an ingredient that has been studied and has been proven to have some kind of benefit, but let's say that the study showed that the benefits that the person experienced or the group experienced in the study, let's say they used 5 milligrams of whatever that ingredient is. Some companies, they might put 1 milligram or even less in there just so that they can list it on the ingredients and say it's in there, but it has not been studied at that dosage. So you don't want to, hey, don't forget you're wearing that gown. You just want to remember that like these places will trick you, all right? And not everybody has time to just go be like, oh, this is how much they did on the study, this is how much there. So that's why I will only recommend certain ones when people ask these kind of questions. So Phoenix Fat Burner by Legion Athletics is the only one I will recommend. Again, completely unnecessary. Basically what it does is it'll help you burn an extra 200 calories a day. And the reason it works is because it increases what's called the thermogenic effect of food, which basically just means when you're eating, you're burning more calories as you digest that food than you would be otherwise. So it helps with that. It can also kind of help with some people, like with curbing cravings and hunger and stuff like that. So it has some things in it that help, but it's a good one if you're going to use one. Again, totally unnecessary. I have personally used it myself when I will bulk up on like a strength thing. Yeah, Nelson, there's a monster in there. Mr. Nelson said there's a monster in your video. Talking about you. But yeah, it's just like I just think that I totally lost track of what I was saying there, but it's not necessary to use the fat burner. But if you're going to use it, go with one like this. That's the only one I'm going to recommend because it's the only one I've used. Oh, that's what I was saying. I'll do strength, really push my weight up for strength, get a little more body fat than I want, and then I'll cut back down. And I have used the Phoenix Fat Burner, and it will help me cut down just a little bit faster than when I don't use it. So I can testify to it, having both trusted the guy and used it. Jody, as far as this one here, man, I have no idea what this is. We can talk offline about that one. But anyway, that is all the questions that I had to start off with. Does anybody have, let's see, Nelson says, I wish jelly beans had more protein. Man, I do too. It'd be a lot easier to justify spending a lot of the calories on them if they had protein, that's for sure. That's the thing. Maybe we should make protein jelly beans. What do you think?
Yummy.
All right. If anybody has any other questions later, if they see this, feel free to just comment them and I will answer them, although they're not live, obviously, but I'll answer in the comments if you have fitness questions. But anyway, hopefully this actually just kind of randomly, I didn't plan it, but just kind of the questions I had kind of turned into a supplement episode. So yeah, hopefully this answers some kind of questions. Let me know if you have any more. Say bye, Mara.
Bye.
My ears.
Daddy, you want to look?